Marcus Aurelius was not just a Roman emperor. He was also one of the greatest philosophers of all time. While ruling one of the most powerful empires in history, he chose not to be consumed by power, fame, or desire. Instead, he devoted himself to self-discipline, reason, and virtue. In the silence of his private thoughts, he wrote what we now call the Meditations, a collection of timeless insights about how to live, think, and endure. Today, we live in a world full of noise. Every day, we face countless decisions, emotional turbulence, distractions, and uncertainty. We chase clarity, but often find confusion. We seek peace, but find stress. So how can we stay calm? How can we think clearly in a world that constantly tries to pull us in all directions? In this video, you'll learn 5 powerful lessons from the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius. These lessons are not abstract theories. They are practical tools to help you build a rational mind, free from the chaos around you. They will help you let go of unnecessary stress, make better decisions, and face life with clarity, confidence, and inner strength. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that began in Greece over 2,000 years ago, but its lessons are more relevant today than ever. At its core, Stoicism teaches one simple truth. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. It focuses on reason, emotional discipline, and living in harmony with nature. Not the trees and rivers, but human nature. Our ability to think clearly, act with purpose, and treat others with justice. The Stoics believe that happiness does not come from external things, like money, fame, or comfort, but from within. From mastering the mind, living by virtue, and accepting life as it is. Among the greatest Stoic thinkers was Marcus Aurelius. He was the Roman emperor from the year 161 to 180 AD. He led armies into battle, ruled through plagues and war, and held one of the most powerful positions in the world. Yet he wrote to himself in quiet moments, reminding his mind to stay calm, focused, and grounded. He reminded himself that power means nothing without self-control, that stress is a choice, that the world may be chaotic, but the mind can stay still. His words have lasted through centuries because they speak directly to the human condition. They're not about ancient Rome. They are about the daily struggle inside every person, to be wise, to stay strong, and to do what is right, no matter what the world throws at us. Stoicism gives us the tools to build a rational mind, a mind that is not ruled by emotion or fear, a mind that can see clearly, choose wisely, and live fully. Marcus Aurelius showed us what this looks like in practice. And now, we will look at 5 key lessons from his philosophy that can help you create that same mental clarity in your own life. Let's begin with the first key to a rational mind. Train your perception. One of the core teachings of Marcus Aurelius is about perception. How we see the world shapes how we experience it. But most of the time, we don't see things as they are. We see them through judgment. We judge events automatically. Something happens and we label it. Good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, success or failure. But this habit of instant judgment distorts reality. When we let our emotions color our perception, we lose clarity. We react instead of respond. We suffer not because of the event, but because of the meaning we attach to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." He believed that events are neutral. It's our interpretation that gives them power. That's why the first step to a rational mind is learning to pause, to suspend judgment, and to look at facts as they are, not as we feel they are. This means catching yourself in the moment and asking, is this truly bad, or am I just calling it bad? Let's take a modern example. Imagine you receive harsh criticism at work. Your first instinct might be to feel hurt or offended. But if you apply the Stoic mindset, you pause and reinterpret the moment. You might ask, is this criticism useful? Can I learn something from it? Even if it was unfair, can I practice patience or emotional control? The Stoics used a powerful technique called turning the obstacle upside down. This means using every difficulty as fuel for growth. Instead of seeing the problem as something that blocks you, you flip it. A delay becomes a chance to slow down. A mistake becomes a lesson. A challenge becomes training for your character. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So every time you face a setback, you can ask, what can I gain from this? When you train your perception, you take back control. You stop letting emotions dictate your view of the world. You learn to see things as they are, not better, not worse, just as they are. And with that clarity, your mind becomes calm, focused, rational. That is the first key to mastering your mind. Now, let's move to the second. Control your emotions. Intense emotions like anger, fear, and anxiety have the power to cloud our thinking. When emotions take over, reason is pushed aside. Our actions become reactive, not thoughtful. Our perception becomes distorted, and our decisions often lead to regret. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote, "Stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you." The Stoic approach is not about suppressing emotions. It is about understanding them and redirecting them with wisdom. You are not a machine. You will feel anger. You will feel fear. You will feel stress. But the key is what you do with those emotions. You can either be a prisoner of them, or you could be their master. When anger rises, ask, what is it trying to tell me? Is it leading me towards something helpful or something harmful? When fear appears, ask, is this a signal to prepare or just a reason to run? A Stoic response is calm, not because there is no emotion, but because the emotion is channeled with clarity. Here are a few practical tools to control your emotions. First, pause and breathe. Slow, deep breaths help bring your nervous system back to balance. It creates a gap between stimulus and response. Second, journaling allows you to take emotions out of your mind and onto the page. It turns raw feeling into structured thought. Third, act with reason, even in the heat of emotion. If something angers you, choose not to react immediately. Step back, reflect, respond later with intention. Let's look at an example. Imagine you're afraid to speak to your boss and ask for a raise. The fear feels overwhelming. You begin to doubt yourself. But instead of letting fear stop you, a Stoic mind uses it as fuel. That fear is a signal. It's telling you this is important. It's showing you that you care. It's also giving you an opportunity to prepare. You think through the conversation. You rehearse possible outcomes. You gather your arguments. You face the fear, and you grow because of it. The goal is not to feel nothing. The goal is to not be ruled by what you feel. By directing your emotions with purpose, you protect your clarity. You protect your mind. And that brings us to the third lesson, a powerful shift in perspective that changes everything. The dichotomy of control. One of the most powerful ideas in Stoic philosophy is the dichotomy of control. It is the clear division between what is within your control and what is not. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control traffic. You cannot control the opinions of others or the actions they take. But you can control your thoughts. You can control your choices. You can control how you respond to what happens. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the foundation of a rational mind. A Stoic focuses energy only on what can be influenced. Everything else is met with acceptance and even peace. There is no point wasting energy on what you cannot change. This leads to the concept of amor fati, a Latin phrase meaning love of fate. Amor fati is the mindset of embracing everything that happens, not just accepting it, but loving it. Even when life doesn't go as planned. Even when things feel unfair or disappointing. Because every outcome is part of your journey, and every obstacle can be a teacher. Let's look at a modern example. You apply for a job you truly want. You prepare well, give your best in the interview, but you don't get the position. Your mind begins to race. You feel frustrated, even defeated. But then you remember the dichotomy of control. You did everything you could. The result was out of your hands. Now it's time to let go. Ask yourself, Can I learn something from this experience? Can I improve for next time? Or was the outcome based on factors beyond my reach? Either way, you respond with clarity, not emotion. You adjust your plan. You stay committed. You keep moving forward. This is a more fatty in action. You may not control what happens, but you always control how you interpret it and how you respond. When you live by the dichotomy of control, your mind becomes unshaken. You stop chasing outcomes. You stop resisting reality. You act where you can. You release what you can't. And in doing so, you find deep inner peace. Next, we will explore the foundation of all Stoic action, the 4 core virtues that guide every wise decision. Live with virtue. In Stoicism, virtue is the highest good. It is not about reputation. It is not about success or approval. It is about living with moral excellence, regardless of the outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Dig deep within yourself. There is a fountain of goodness ever ready to flow, if you will keep digging." The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Wisdom is the ability to judge what is truly good, what is bad, and what is indifferent. It is thinking clearly, seeing reality as it is, and making decisions guided by reason. Justice is about doing what is fair, not just for yourself, but for others and for the greater whole. It is acting with integrity, even when it costs you something. Courage is the willingness to face fear, discomfort, or failure in order to do what is right. It is action in the face of uncertainty. Temperance is self-control. It is knowing when to stop, when to wait, and how to find balance between extremes. These virtues are not abstract ideals. They are practical tools. They guide how you act, how you speak, and how you make choices, especially when those choices are hard. Imagine a situation where you have the chance to gain something for yourself by acting unfairly towards someone else. Maybe no one would find out. Maybe you would benefit in the short term. But a Stoic asks, is this wise? Is this just? Does it require courage? Am I practicing self-control? And if the answer is no, then the action is not virtuous. And if it is not virtuous, is not worth doing. Living with virtue brings peace. Because when your actions align with your values, you no longer feel divided. You no longer live in regret or inner conflict. Your conscience is clear. Virtue is the compass that keeps the rational mind steady. It protects you from acting out of impulse, emotion, or fear. It reminds you that true strength is not in what you achieve, but in how you live. And that brings us to our final lesson, a way of thinking that frees the mind from narrow vision and reveals what truly matters. See the bigger picture. A rational mind is not trapped in the moment. It has the ability to step back and see the whole picture. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whenever you want to talk about people, it's best to take a bird's eye view and see everything all at once." This is the practice of mental distance. It means looking at your life, your problems, and your choices from above, as if you were an outside observer. From this higher view, many things that feel urgent or overwhelming begin to lose their weight. You ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? What role does this event play in the full story of my life? Am I seeing the whole situation or only one small part? This perspective helps you avoid overreacting. It helps you make better decisions. It helps you remain calm when others are consumed by stress. Imagine being stuck in traffic. Your instinct may be frustration, but if you zoom out, you realize this moment is just a brief delay in a much larger journey. Or imagine a conflict with someone close to you. Instead of reacting emotionally, you take a step back. You consider their perspective. You remember your long-term relationship with them. You choose words that heal instead of harm. This is the power of seeing the bigger picture. It also connects you to something greater than yourself. You begin to see how your actions affect others. You remember that you are part of a wider world. This creates humility, compassion, and purpose. To practice this way of thinking, use daily reflection. Write in a journal. Ask questions like, what did I learn today? What am I overvaluing? How would I view this problem if I were older, wiser, or more detached? This long-term view creates stability. You're no longer moved by every small wave. You begin to sail by the stars. And with this shift in perspective, your mind becomes free to focus on what truly matters. Now, let's bring all 5 lessons together and see how they form a complete mindset for inner clarity and strength. Integration, the rational mind in practice. Now, let's bring it all together. 5 lessons, 5 pillars of a rational mind. Train your perception, see events without judgment. Control your emotions, respond with intention, not impulse. Focus on what you can control, release the rest with peace. Live with virtue, let wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance guide you. And see the bigger picture, rise above the moment and understand the whole. Together, these ideas form a powerful mindset, a way of thinking that brings clarity, calm, and strength to everyday life. The key is practice. Pause before reacting. Take a breath before speaking. Ask yourself what is truly in your control. Choose to act according to virtue, not emotion. Look beyond the present moment and ask what really matters. Even small habits can create a strong foundation. Write in a journal each morning or evening. Reflect on how you handled the day. Consider what could have been done with more wisdom or patience. Begin your day with a simple meditation on one virtue. Ask yourself, how can I live with courage today? How can I practice temperance in my actions? These small moments of reflection build something greater over time, a mind like stone, calm, clear, and unshaken. When you begin to live like Marcus Aurelius, something shifts. The world no longer controls your peace. Your mind becomes your sanctuary. You act with clarity. You face challenges with strength. You live each day with purpose and direction. This is the power of Stoic practice. This is the path to a rational mind. Let's quickly review the 5 lessons from Marcus Aurelius. First, train your perception. See things as they are, not as your emotions label them. Second, control your emotions. Use them wisely. Never let them rule your mind. Third, focus on what you can control and accept what you cannot with peace. Fourth, live with virtue. Let wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance guide every action. Fifth, see the bigger picture. Rise above the moment and understand life as a whole. These are not just ideas. They're practices. Rationality is not a gift. It is a discipline. It is built one decision at a time. And now the choice is yours. You're not here just to survive the chaos. You are here to master your mind. If you found this helpful, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and explore more from our Philosophy for Life playlist. Thank you for watching.